The Liga MX, officially known as the Liga BBVA MX for sponsorship reasons, is the top professional football division in Mexico. Formerly known as the Primera División de Mexico Mexican First Division, it is contested by 18 clubs and is divided into two tournaments, Apertura and Clausura, which typically run from July to December, the former, and January to May, the latter. The champion of each tournament is decided via a playoff Ligula system. Since 2020, promotion and relegation has been suspended, which is to last until 2026. The league currently ranks first in CONCACAF's League Ranking Index. According to the IFFHS, the Liga MX was ranked as the 10th strongest league in the first decade of the 21st century. According to CONCACAF, the league, with an average attendance of 25,557 during the 2014-15 season, draws the largest crowds on average of any football league in the Americas and the third largest crowds of any professional sports league in North America, behind only the National Football League and Major League Baseball. It is also the fourth most attended football league in the world, behind Germany's Bundesliga, England's Premier League, and Spain's La Liga. The Liga MX ranks second in terms of television viewership in the United States, behind the English Premier League. Club America have won the league a record of 14 times, followed by Guadalajara with 12 titles. In all, 24 teams have won the Primera División/Liga MX title at least once. Liga MX uses a single table of 18 teams that play two annual tournaments, Apertura and Clausura, resulting in 2 champions per season. The season opens with the Apertura tournament opening tournament, running from July to December, followed by the Clausura closing, running from January to May. This format matches other Latin American schedules and corresponds with FIFA's World Footballing Calendar, which opens in July/August and closes in April/May of the next year. The top 12 teams advance to the Ligula for each tournament, with the top 4 teams in the table at the end of the regular phase of the tournament qualifying directly to the Ligula, and the next 8 teams qualifying for the play-in round that determines the next 4 Ligula spots. If one team is in last place in the league's relegation table, see below, that team is replaced by the team that finished 13th in the tournament. From 1996 to 2002, the league followed a 2-tournament schedule with Invierno Winter and Verano Summer tournaments. From 2002 to 2011, the 18 teams were divided into 3 groups of 6, with the top 2 teams from each group and the 2 best third-place teams qualified for the Ligula. The teams played in the same group for each tournament. The qualification phase of the tournament lasted 17 weeks, with all teams playing each other once per tournament in a home and away series over both tournaments. On playoffs, the Ligula, Spanish for Little League, is the playoff phase of the tournament. This phase starts with the qualifying round, with teams ranked 5 to 12 playing a single match hosted by the higher seed, with the winner decided on the night. After this round, the 4 teams that have won the round advance to the quarterfinals against the 4 by teams with the winner on aggregate score progressing. The champion team is awarded the first division trophy, and the runner-up is awarded the smaller version of the trophy. The birth of La Ligula in 1970 modernized the league despite the disagreements between the traditionalists and the modernists. Clubs that were near bankruptcy were now better able to compete and generate profits. CONCACAF Champions Cup qualification. Each year, at least 6 teams from Liga MX qualify for the CONCACAF Champions Cup, the premier North American club competition. Liga MX itself is guaranteed 6 spots, while teams from the league can earn 3 more spots via the league's cup with milliliters, or 8. Maximum of 9 spots. Generally, the Apertura and Clausura winners and runners-up, as well as the next best 2 teams in the aggregate table, qualify, with the higher-ranking champion from the Apertura and Clausura tournaments earning the bye to the round of 16. Liga MX would implement a formula for ensuring that the Apertura and Clausura had 2 qualifying teams should one or more teams reach the finals of both tournaments, devised when Liga MX sent 4 teams to North America's top club competition. If the same 2 teams qualified for the finals of both tournaments, those 2 teams will qualify along with the non-finalists with the best record in both the Apertura and Clausura. If the same team wins both the Apertura and the Clausura, facing 2 different teams in the finals of each tournament, then the berth reserved for the Clausura champions is passed to the Clausura runners-up, and the berth reserved for the Clausura runners-up is passed to the non-finalists with the Best record in the Clausura. This occurred most recently in the 2021-22 season 2023 CONCACAF Champions League when Atlas 2021 Apertura and 2022 Clausura champions Pachuca 2022 Clausura runners-up and Leon 2021 Apertura runners-up were placed in Pod 1, while UANL non-finalists with the best record in the 2022 Clausura were placed in Pod 2. At the time, the pod placings were determined via the CONCACAF Club Index, which ranked the performance of certain spots within the last 5 years. As of the 2022-23 season, the team that wins both the Apertura and Clausura also automatically qualifies for the round of 16. If the Apertura runners-up win the Clausura facing two different teams in the finals of each tournament, then the berth reserved for the Apertura runners-up is passed to the non-finalists with the best record in the Apertura. This occurred most recently in the 2011-12 season 2012-13 CONCACAF Champions League when UANL 2011 Apertura champions and Santos Laguna 2011 Apertura runners-up and 2012 Clausura champions were placed in Pot A, while Guadalajara non-finalists with the best record in the 2011 Apertura and Monterrey 2012 Clausura runners-up were placed in Pot B. At the time, the champions and runners-up were placed in different pots. If the Apertura champions are runners-up of the Clausura facing two different teams in the finals of each tournament, then the berth reserved for the Clausura runners-up is passed to the non-finalists with the best record in the Clausura. This has not happened since Liga MX began using this qualification procedure, with Liga MX sending a minimum of 6 teams to the Champions Cup again. Liga MX can send a maximum of 9 teams if 3 Liga MX teams all hold the top 3 spots in Leagues Cup. These rules still generally apply, although if a team qualifies for the Champions Cup via Liga MX and the Leagues Cup, the spot is given to the next best team in the aggregate table. If a team is the highest ranked tournament champion and also wins the Leagues Cup for that same cycle, both the Apertura and Clausura champions qualify for the round of 16. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like the video.